Richician!
Hey YouTube, Richician84 here, and in this video I'm counting down my top 10 hated Xyz monsters. Well, you know the drill by now. I don't mean any offence to anyone who plays these Xyz monsters. I'm just simply explaining why I hate them so much that I wish that absolutely none of these Xyz monsters existed. So fuck every single one of these Xyz monsters, and even if there's outs to them, just because there are outs to them doesn't mean you're guaranteed to see them. Anyway, now that that's over with, let's begin, starting with number 10, Rhapsody in Berserk. Yeah, basically I hate it because it's a soul release on legs. Basically a cheap shot banish card, just banishing two monsters just like that. I mean, sure, it can only do it twice, but that means nothing. Like, it's still a cheap shot banish card. I'm not bothered about its other effect though. But yeah, I've particularly grown to hate it after one time where a certain Pendulum player I know summoned it against me and used it to banish two copies of Elemental Hero Neos, while Bottomless Trap Hole banished the other one, leaving me with no Neoses left to work with. That was just horrible. Like, I swear the individual in question just has something against both Neos and Rainbow Neos. I'm just thankful that this wasn't done to Dark Magician. Like, that would have made me mad, and I would have been out for revenge. But the card hardly ever sees play though, so that's why it's only at number 10. Number 9 is number 89, Diabolosis the Mind Hacker. Yeah, this is an even cheaper cheap shot banish card. Like, this card is just horrible. Just banishing an extra deck monster from the extra deck face down, then banishing another card face down, this time from the graveyard, and then banishes another one face down whenever another card gets banished face down, which is only once per turn. But yeah, this card is nasty. Just practically a walking macrocosmos, just banishing cards left, right and centre just like that, and it's a generic level 7. Like, it's horrible. Yeah, I hate it. I mean, I haven't had this summoned against me though, but I don't want to deal with it, like, ever, because like I said before, I play decks that usually rely on the graveyard, and I like having a graveyard. I want to be able to use the graveyard so I can play. Same with an extra deck. Alright, yes, I know Ghost Reaper and Silver Rocket also banished from extra deck, but that's different. Like, I only use those to get rid of extra deck monsters that I hate and just don't want to deal with, but even then, I hardly ever play those cards. Whereas this just banishes extra deck cards willy-nilly, just like that. Same with cards in the graveyard. Like, does it even... Oh yeah, it does target engrave. And what's worse is that they're being banished face down, and face down banished cards are harder to get back than face up ones. This is just nasty. I hate it. Number 8 is number 41, Baguska. Like, I swear not every Xyz monster on here is a number. Now, I do love the number archetype, really, but there's a select few that I absolutely hate. See, I would have put Shockmaster on here, but like I said before, I'm not counting banned cards, because while banned cards are banned, they're not a threat. But yeah, Baguska is just fucking infuriating. Like, it's only ever used for its defense mode effect. Like, it's just so annoying. People keep using it to stall out games, like, even for purposeless reasons. It's just absolute bullshit. Like, I can't fucking do anything for like 2 or 3 turns while this card's out. It's just infuriating. I mean, sure, it doesn't work on Link monsters, obviously, but the thing is, you kind of need main deck monsters to swarm the field in order to be able to go into them. It's so annoying. I hate it. I mean, yeah, like I said, it only works for like 2 or 3 turns, but that means nothing, because it always gives the card holder the turns they need to just be able to go off, whereas I can't. It's just absolute bullshit. That being said, though, there was one moment with this card which was quite funny, which happened in a Royal Rumble like a few years back, where I got knocked out quite early on, and it was a showdown between George with Phantom Knights and Express Gaming with Ninjas, and Express Gaming was on 50 life points. George went to attack, but Express activated back to the front and brought back Baguska in defense mode and just stopped him in his tracks. It did buy him a few more turns, but George ended up winning the whole thing. So I will admit that was quite funny to watch. Like, even some of the competitive guys were watching nearby were just flabbergasted at what was going on, and were actually very impressed. I even said, "I must also point out, gentlemen, that he's fighting back on 50 life points." And Steve was like, "Wait, what the hell happened?" And I was like, "Oh, Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon happened." But that was something that happened earlier on. So yeah, a funny moment to watch, but the card itself is just fucking annoying, and I wish it didn't exist. Or rather, I wish these numbers that I'm hating on had different effects. Yeah, that's all I can say, really. Number 7 is DDD Duo Dawn King Kalyuga. Yeah, more DDD hate here. As I said in the previous top 10 video, I hate DDDs, and this is one of the reasons why. It's just infuriating. Even though it's like for like a turn, it just stops me from being able to do absolutely anything, basically. Just negating everything on the field, stopping me from activating face-down cards, and it can pop all spells and traps at any time. Like, it's just fucking bullshit. Like, I hate just being powerless to defend myself from a big beater like this, or anything for that matter. And that's just what this makes me feel. Powerless. Not that I've encountered it very much, but it's still fucking annoying. Like, I hate that there's a cold wave in monster card form. And Cold Wave itself was annoying enough as it is, and that card deserved to be banned, and I hope it stays banned forever and ever. Yeah. King Caluga's just infuriating, although I heard that it was able to see play outside of DDDs. Like, I can't remember how it was played outside of DDDs. I think there were some rank up spells involved, or there was an Xyz monster that let you put it on top of it or something. I don't know. All I know is that there was a combo that allowed it to be played outside of DDDs. I mean, I don't have much else to say about it. Number 6, Trap Tricks Rafflesia. I hate trap tricks. Like, I also hate that there's an archetype based on Bottomless Trap Hole, or the other Trap Hole cards, but yeah. Yeah. Trap Tricks Rafflesia is one of the most annoying rank 4s in the game, and it basically makes it so I pretty much can't play. I mean, it's not a negate, but I still hate that there's a card that lets you activate Bottomless Trap Hole, one of my most hated traps of all time, from the deck. It just pisses me off, and it makes it so I basically can't put out a powerful monster without it getting banished, unless it was either unaffected by traps or anything, really. But yeah, it practically makes it impossible to play. Plus, being unaffected by traps while it has a material, and protecting other Trap Tricks monsters from being destroyed by battle and affects that target is just insult to bloody injury. I mean, unless I see Dark Hole or Regeki or whatever, it's just impossible to be able to play with this bitch out on the field. It's like, how am I supposed to go off? That's really all there is to it. I hate it in Trap Tricks, I hate it in Hat. Bullshit card is bullshit. Number 5, Evil Swarm Ophion, another old arch nemesis of mine. Now, Evil Swarms are among my top 3 most hated decks of all time, purely because Ophion exists. Like, I've hated this bastard since day one. Because decks based on high-level monsters just auto-lose to it. Well, except maybe Monarchs and True Draco, but of course I don't play those, and I never will. But, yeah, it's a card that basically says you can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! And it hurts, well, pretty much all the decks that I usually play, like Dark Magician, Heroes, my Dragon decks, well, except Rockets, I guess. It's like, I can't play with this card out. It's fucking bullshit, and it's always backed up by Infestation Pandemic, generic monster effect negation, which just makes Evil Swarm's a bullshit, unfair deck to play against. I mean, it's alright for decks like Raid Raptors, Gadgets, Madolches, Battling Boxers, Burning Abyss, Cyburst Rockets, Yusendus, Link decks, or whatever. Like, they're not hurt by Ophion, but everything else just suffers and auto loses, and it just pissed me off so much when the deck was seeing a lot more play. Like, literally, all Evil Swarm players ever fucking do is just summon Ophion, use it to search Infestation Pandemic, set lots of back row, and pass turn. Like, they don't even focus on the other boss monster, Ouroboros. I mean, that card's a bit annoying as well, but I would rather deal with Ouroboros than Ophion any day. It's just one of those decks that says you can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, there's just no point playing against it. I've only had like a select few decks that can actually contend with Ophion and don't get hurt by it. Like Utopia, Raid Raptors, Gadgets, but even my generic Warriors. That's pretty much it. Oh yeah, I did have Battling Boxers as well. It was just infuriating, and I hate that nothing was done about it. Like, even if it was an anti-meta deck, but thankfully, no one's playing this deck anymore. The only reason they're not seeing play is because players are either more interested in the new stuff, or it's because Link decks and some Xyz decks are just seeing a lot more play, which I guess kind of power creeped Ophion, really, and it just seemed to fall out of favour. Yeah. Hopefully it'll stay that way, because fuck Ophion, I don't want to deal with this bastard ever again. Number 4 is number 38, Hope Harbinger Titanic Galaxy. Hope, more like despair, because that's all this fucking card brings. Despair. Spell-heavy decks just auto lose to this bastard, just like the Churia Beast. And despite being a rank 8, it's too easy to summon, and like it negates spells or spell effects for free. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Like, it's one of the few things about Dark Lords that annoy me, or many things about Dark Lords that annoy me. Plus, I feel like every time I go against either an opposing Blue Eyes deck or an opposing Galaxy Photon deck, this fucker always comes out. Oh yeah, and it can see play in Utopia decks because of Dragnar, just to shut down half my deck, if not most of it. It's kind of bullshit, and by that point it feels like I'm playing against Hope Harbinger Stun when I play against any of those 3 decks and it comes out. And like I said before, I usually play spell-heavy decks, and if I can't play my spells, I can't fucking play at all. Like, it's just so infuriating. That's all there is to it. Like, running it and just basically playing Hope Hop and just Stun just kind of defeats the whole point of the decks that it's being played in. It's such horseshit. I also kind of hate how its attack redirecting effect isn't even once per turn, and that once cost me a game, like more specifically one of the Dark Magician raid boss games, where I just messed up and could have done something differently to get rid of it. But then again, it didn't matter, because earlier on in that raid boss there was a mistake that messed up the game state, and since there wasn't really a way to redo it, the whole thing had to be a triple game loss. Yeah, I say triple because it was a 2v1 raid boss game. Yeah, fuck this card. That's all I can say. Number 3, Naruto, the Great Moral Leader, because it's a dark bribe on legs. I hate this fucker so much. I mean, sure, it can only do it twice, but it doesn't matter. Like, twice is all that's needed. Like I said before, I hate dark bribes on legs. They are degenerate, bullshit, unfair, unhealthy, and just bad for the game. Like, I don't care what you say. Like, cards like this shouldn't be allowed in the game. I hate it. Like, it's also an annoying card that can be played in Pendulum Magician, which is just infuriating. Other Dark Magician decks play it as well. Like, I don't, because I refuse to play this fucker, as it's used either for its negate effect or another way to make Ebon Illusion Magician. Which is kind of something about it that's kind of overlooks the fact that you can use a rank 6 spellcaster to go into it. The problem is, this is the only rank 6 spellcaster in the TCG right now, since Konami won't give Magi Magician Girl a TCG printing, which is annoying. I mean, I would play a rank 6 spellcaster as long as it doesn't have a negation effect, just to make it easier, but there isn't one. Although it does make sense, as Apprentice Illusion Magician, Dark Magician Girl, Mana are level 6 spellcasters. It is possible to make it. But I refuse to play this card, because fuck it. Number 2, Totally Arsehole. Now, I did already talk about this card in my top 10 hated card video, so there's not much I can say that I haven't said already. Like, it's a monster that negates everything, too easy to summon, just recycles itself no matter how you get rid of it and send it to the graveyard. Like, destroy it, Kaiju it, super poly it. It just keeps coming back and just negating my deck. And it pisses me off so much. Particularly in Paleozoic Frog, like, fuck that deck, seriously. And it's just annoying when it's played outside of Frog decks, more specifically in anything that can make Bahama Shark. It's so annoying, as well as boring and unoriginal. near impossible to deal with. Oh yeah, and prank kids, because 2 dropsies can make it. Like, prank kids are already annoying enough as it is, whereas this fucker is just insult to bloody injury. And like I said before, the only way to really get rid of it is with Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. All called by the grave, just so I can stop it recycling itself, provided I'm lucky enough to see the one copy of Called By. Seriously, to hell with this toad. Number 1, Cyber Dragon Infinity is of course my most hated Xyz monster in the game. Again, this is also something I already talked about, so there's not much I can say that I haven't said already. Just like Toad, it's a herald of perfection in Xyz form. Now, as annoying as Toad is, Infinity, of course, is a lot worse due to the fact that it negates effects of cards as well as initial activations, and it can use its other effect to add on more negates and more attack points to it. And it's just a nightmare to deal with, whether I'm playing against Cyber Dragons or just anything that can run level 5 machine monsters, like Dino Mists, rank 5 spam. Not that I hate rank 5 spam decks, I just hate how this is an option for them. But yeah, it's the source of my hatred for Cyber Dragons, like, as I described already, because, well, this card ruined the archetype for me, and I feel like going for this fucker is all they ever do, whether they're going first or second, and I hate it. It's just basically their auto-win button. They just summon it, sit behind it, and just stop me from being able to play. Therefore, it gives them a free win. Of course, the going second options are just icing on the cake, really. Just going into Sega and Rampage and just using and abusing them for OTK purposes. It's just infuriating. And I just don't like playing against Cyber Dragons anymore because this card exists. Like, what's really the point if it does things that don't let me play the game? It's really all there is to it. Like I said, there's nothing I can really say that I didn't say already. But yeah, fuck Infinity and everything it stands for. I'd burn and rip up every single copy in existence if I had them and if I wanted to. So yeah, those are my top 10 hated Xyz monsters. I mean, whether or not you agree or disagree with me, of course, is up to you. I mean, if you agree, cool, excellent. If you don't, fair enough, that's your opinion. We're all entitled to our own opinions, but these are my opinions. So, you know, rather than argue about it, let's just agree to disagree and move on. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Catch you guys later. See ya. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Richician YouTube channel.